Before Ted gets here, James, any grievances you'd like to file about Ted Libby? Just
you'll hear about it in episode 100.
Whoa, retroactively, you'll hear about it in the last
I got
episode.
an impromptu speech.
Wow.
Off the head. That's what I'm bringing to the table.
All right. I don't like this.
Hello and welcome back to the Side Escape Gaming Podcast, episode 101. I'm your host, Jake Burke, and joined, as always, by James St. Charles and Ted Libby. James, I want to focus on you today. How are you feeling? Are you excited?
I'm feeling great.
All right.
I'm excited for the future, but I'm also excited about what we're going to be talking about today.
Oh, the games we're talking about today.
Yeah, we got some really good games, and then we have a really horrible game that we're going to talk about for like most of the time.
Wow, I like hot take. Hot take. Ted, how are you doing today? You ready for this?
I'm doing good.
But enough about Ted, because this is the 101st episode of the Side Escape Gaming Podcast, where every Monday morning a new episode goes live on YouTube.com, SoundCloud, and Spotify. Once a week, we Discord over 500 miles to talk about a gaming-related topic and what games we are playing. Today we're talking about Diablo Immortal, Grindstone, and Super Mario Strikers Battle League. Ted, what do you have to say?
Yesterday I decided,
Enough about Ted.
That was a great burn, right? That was pretty good.
That was the best one you ever done.
I was smart, and I was like, I'm not going to try and find Strikers, like, on cartridge or whatever when it comes out, because it'll be sold out. It's a popular game. I'll do it later.
Okay.
I went to 3 stores yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Sold out.
Wow, really?
Whoa, really?
I could not pick it up.
What? Okay, and this is just a layman's question. You guys are Steam gamers. You guys are PC people. You don't own any of your games technically, physically. Why the fuck do you want Switch cards? The easiest thing to lose in the world. Why do you guys both want into this?
So I know a lot of people with Switches, and it's easy to share games with the
cards. That's the thing. I like the physicality, and if I want someone to play a game like, which I was gonna say Zelda, but I don't have it physical. But I have Luigi's Mansion 3 physically, and if you guys want to play it,
yeah,
this game is insane. Like I can share it with you. So I'm agree with that. Also, if a game sucks, you can sell it and get some money back.
That's true.
Yeah.
If you do want it.
I also don't trust Nintendo to keep their stores alive. So for preservation's sake, I buy their physical copies.
I absolutely wouldn't trust them to keep their games alive.
Yeah.
I like something physical every now and then. That's something that's missing with PC that I didn't used to be there. So having some sort of memorability, even though the Switch case cartridge sucks, it's just literally just plastic with the card. There's no manual. There's no nothing. The
Xbox is just plastic with a code in it.
No fanfare.
Right? There's no disc anymore, right?
Can I just get some art or something, like a sticker? Just a little something.
Costs too much money, James. We got to make those margins up somewhere.
I don't get that. Then why isn't the digital cheaper?
Margins, baby.
You're asking the real questions now.
Yeah, why isn't digital cheaper?
The copy of Cyberpunk that I bought
it should be
$10 for the Xbox Series X. That came with a little art book.
Oh. Have you played like Series X Cyberpunk?
No.
Okay, you're just going
the update has yet to come out yet.
Oh, what?
I bought it.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
Because Best Buy was like, we need to get rid of these. These are launch edition. $10. I was like, whatever, I guess.
It's so wild. The world of Cyberpunk. I saw someone playing it on my Discord today, and I was like, I wonder, like, is he enjoying Cyberpunk? Like, is it much better than when I played it? Interesting.
Ignorance is bliss. Imagine just getting to Cyberpunk and be like, wow, this game's amazing. Wonder what people think about it. And then they go and see like the shit show that was.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Ted, really quick, I played James's Steam Deck like 2 weeks ago. And I didn't say anything about it. I was really impressed with the Steam Deck. For the 30 minutes that I touched the Steam Deck, it was not very long.
What'd you play?
I booted up Elden Ring just to kind of walk around in Elden Ring. Was not impressed with James's build at all. Like, I just want to put that out there. But that's all right.
It's full strength with the mace.
But in reality, no, I played like, I don't know, 5-10 minutes of Elden Ring just walking around. And then we played the Aperture Science Lab, or what is it?
The desk job.
Desk job. And the thing I was just really impressed with that game was legitimately like how good it looked on the Steam Deck. Like, it's obviously designed for it, but I do want to play that on PC. Does it should be okay.
Yeah,
right?
it plays on PC. You just use a controller, I think. Or actually, it might be. I don't know. I haven't played it on PC, but it plays on any. It plays on PC. It's just not the same. Like it's more tuned for Steam Deck, but it just changes the puzzles.
Yeah.
There's no puzzle. It's just for the story.
It's just
the story's great.
And they got J.K. Simmons back for it. Like, he's voicing Cave Johnson.
Yeah,
that's great.
Oh, it's so great. I've been playing a lot of Portal 2 lately. I'm going to talk about that a little bit, but
how's it feel?
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah. So the feel of it. James had a really good kind of in-depth talk about the feel. I didn't mind the feel of like I thought it actually felt pretty good in my hands. It's very big.
It's big, yeah.
It's almost to the point where it's like slightly too big in my opinion, but I haven't used it a lot, so I think it was just like the shock of going from the Switch
Like not shoving a backpack.
You know,
Kind
Jake,
of a big.
since I played it more,
Mm-hmm.
since I've had both, and
Yeah.
like I've been favoring the Switch more recently because I'm playing more Switch games, but I go back and forth, and to me, I like how the deck feels and looks, but over time, it's just you're right, it's too big, and
It's big.
when I go to the Switch, even though this is like piece of shit controllers, it just feels good and is the right size. This is the optimal size, and I don't know, I want Steam Deck this size.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
When we were there, we had Maddie, who Madeline is a much smaller person than I am. Her hands are much smaller, and she held the Steam Deck just to hold it, and like it was tough to reach buttons.
Yeah. So any kids or anyone with like smaller hands, you're not gonna be able to like get the full grasp of this controller because it's just huge. And then the screen's great, but it's just like this control base is just way too big. It needs a mini version. I wouldn't mind a reduced screen size or like a condensed.
Mm-hmm.
And just smaller peripheral.
Yeah, I think Nintendo nails the sizing of the handheld, in my opinion.
The size, yeah, and you can touch every single button and everything fits. So, that's where I'm at with that. But it's still good. And
James
when I get the dock comes out, I'm gonna dock it
and play it on your TV and everything. Yeah. It was very impressive though, the piece of hardware. Like for what it was, I was like, this is wild.
And the price is decent, so just a little bit more than OLED Switch.
I just think it's so interesting with the Switch too, of like the Switch, like almost like beginning marketplace was so much like all those Steam games you already owned, but now you want to play on the go. And this just took that concept and was like, right, now you can play them on the go. Like you don't have to. Yeah. Like I want every Double Fine game on my Steam library because I'm sure there was like a what's it called, the packages that you can buy online. What's that called? Humble Bundle.
Humble Bundle, yeah.
And like I have every Double Fine game that I have not played, and I was like, damn, if I had a Steam Deck, I could be playing Headlander on the couch. Stuff like that. So
that's what I'm finding indie games that I just love playing on the Steam Deck, like a game we'll talk about later, which
I'm excited to hear that.
That's where the niche is, I think, for me, is these indie titles that maybe not like the hardcore like PC like Civ game or something like that, but just something like and mobile.
This is a great transition, James. What are you playing right now? What's this game that you were excited to talk to us about?
So Steam Next Fest. Have you heard of Steam Next Fest? It was a week ago, 2 weeks ago, and it's basically this Steam festival. It's very like niche and small, but it's where developers can put out demos.
Okay.
And it's something that's like really dead. I feel like recently, no one really like plays a demo anymore. And I like to play demos because I played the Hero Loop game that we played.
Loop Hero.
Was it 2 years? Loop Hero, yeah.
The Hero Loop.
And that I played it as a demo.
Yeah. Okay.
And the save transfers over as a regular game. So once I like played it and I was like, okay, I like this, I'll buy the game.
The Switch has some games like that does that. It's cool.
And that's what this game that I've got or played playing has. And I've only been playing the demo and I have like 10 hours in it, which is insane, I think, for a demo. Which is it's called Grindstone.
Yeah, by Capybara, right?
Yeah, Capybara Games. And this game is such a fun concept and it's addicting. So basically it starts out, you're this miner, you're a buff miner who goes and like hunts in these caves, and all he wants to do is he wants to like grind enough stones, collect enough stones to go on vacation, I guess in like Miami or something like that. That's his dream.
Yep.
So he goes to these caves at each of these levels, and your goal is it's kind of like it's just like a standard like top-down puzzle game, but you have to connect colored creatures in a path, and the more you connect, like 10, 20, you get a grindstone. And a grindstone gets placed on the grid, and if you go through that grindstone, it lets you pick on any color, like any sort of creature color, and you can extend your loop or your combo.
Yeah, it's like almost like a match, like a Bejeweled kind of game where you're like going up and you
get match 3.
Yeah,
it's like a Bejeweled, but you control your path. So it'd be like picture Bejeweled, but you have a guy that you tell him where you want to connect.
And you're trying to get to the end of the monsters kind of thing.
Well, yeah, I mean, you can get to the end, or basically what you do is the monsters become enraged, and if you land on an enraged monster or near one, it'll hit you, and you have like 3 hearts, and you die if you get hit 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
So you can just stay in the level as long as you can survive, and then you can exit at the very end and collect like as many grindstones as you can.
It was a mobile game. It originally came out on Apple Arcade, and then it's been on Switch.
Yeah.
It was on Apple Arcade.
An Apple Arcade game.
Yeah, and it's out on Steam now. So it was at the Steam Next Fest, and a Valve developer I follow on Twitter was like raving about it, and so I was like, okay, let's check it out. And luckily, you could just check out the demo.
Mm-hmm.
And then I saw people complaining about Steam Next Fest because apparently there were demos you can only play during the festival.
Mm-hmm.
That shouldn't be a thing. Firstly, like why have a limited time demo? Just let the demo be playable, anytime. So that was the worst part about it. But this game like really like caught my eye, and I've been playing it on my Steam Deck because it's like perfect for it in terms of like how you can.
Yeah, I have it on the Switch, James. I own it on the Switch now.
Yeah, you were telling me that yeah. So it's fun.
It is. It's a really good game. It's very addictive, and the puzzle aspect.
Yeah, the puzzle aspect is like what drives my like kind of like allure to the game.
Yeah.
Is this puzzle trying to like get the max line or max combo?
Yeah, you're gonna keep sticking to it and just kind of mess around with it, or are you?
Yeah, I'm still gonna play it through. I mean, I'm almost done with the demo, so I may buy it or I may just drop it. I haven't put any money into it.
That's pretty awesome that the demo's that long.
It's
that is really
pretty
cool.
long. It's 15 levels.
That's crazy.
I know.
Wow. Any like major thoughts on it, or just kind of sticking to it and enjoying it?
I'm looking forward to seeing what else it has for it. I like the little like mini bosses it has in some of the levels. That kind of adds some difficulty to it, but yeah, it's just interesting game.
Nice. Yeah, it is. It's a very fun game. You can tell that it is perfect on a phone. Like it feels like
it definitely shows it's built for phone. But I'm surprised that this game's not more popular. Like it's like the first time I heard of it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised.
Yeah, it's funny, but it is such a game that it's just like you like while you're playing, like, oh man, this would be a great iPhone game.
I was like, this is a great phone.
Yeah,
tablet.
I think it is exclusive to Apple Arcade, which was very polarizing to people. Either you were in on that, or you were not going to touch it because Apple Arcade sucks or whatever.
Yeah.
So what is Apple Arcade?
It's a subscription service where
subscription?
Okay. Yeah, it's like Netflix but for Apple games.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's like
there you go. That's the polarizing opinion that we were looking for.
But there's no microtransactions in an Apple Arcade.
No, yeah. There's no microtransactions. That's the best part about this game. Is it looks like a mobile, but no microtransactions, and it plays fun.
I think we're going to talk about mobile games that have a lot of microtransactions that are really invasive in a little bit. But
predatory.
I think what is really great about Grindstone just in general is that it has a very addictive mobile game loop, like almost like a Fruit Ninja kind of loop. Like it really hits that like, the dopamine levels of like, this is fun for that 4-minute loop. And then that once you finish a level, it's not like, all right, now like $3 to continue on this level and get the glass sword for $5. And like, I just love that it's not in your face trying to like suck money out of your wallet.
I was definitely talking about that with a coworker recently about the old, like the very first, like kind of like iPhone games or those like Angry Birds at the start where it wasn't really about money. It was like kind of like just having a fun mobile type game, like even Flappy Bird or something like to that extent. And the whole huge companies were like built around these like small games, and now it's kind of like you gotta pay for these gacha games or
pay to play, baby, pay to play. Yeah, I used to love Fruit Ninja back in the day. Ooh.
You know what game I really liked?
What do you like? What game you like? Give me like, James.
I interrupted you.
No, James. I want to know what game you like. Tell me what you like.
Is this word game? It's called Wordle.
Oh, I love Wordle. Are you playing Wordle, James? You playing Wordle every day?
No, I haven't played every day, but I've definitely played a lot of Wordle. It's like
it's a great game.
That's a great concept. Like that to me is like that's a great game.
Wordle's the game of the year. Like, sorry, Elden Ring. It's Wordle.
But the people who bought Wordle are amazing. I think New York Times bought it them for such a cheap price.
It's like it's like 7 to 9 million, somewhere in that range.
Yeah,
a single guy made Wordle.
Yeah,
so a guy got paid $9 million.
Right, but I feel like they could have got paid way more.
Yeah, but I think at that point, like you're at the height of your popularity, and someone offers you $9 million for a cheap word app you made. Like, take it.
Hey James, what would you do with $9 million?
Retire.
Be upset that you didn't get more?
Yeah. I'd be like, I could have had 50 mil or
You'd
something
be
like
wanting $14 million, Ted.
that. Yeah.
How dare you?
No, but I think for what it was, it could have easily been because there's been spin-offs that have been created. That's kind of been.
I think I think the hard part was New York Times wanted to buy it and like make a good like transition of it rather than just hijacking this guy's game and calling it something else.
Yeah, I think that's fine. Like sell to them, but yeah.
Good for that guy.
Anywho,
Ted, I want to talk to you about predatory mobile experiences. Do you have a game that you might want to talk about?
No.
Oh my God, he loves Diablo Immortal.
No.
Ted's game of the year, Diablo Immortal.
Please, though.
He spent $14,000 in it, and he has one 5-star.
Have you guys been
item.
seeing those stories?
Mm-hmm.
I guess they're kind of old by now, but man, oh man.
Tell me, can you start broad strokes what Diablo Immortal is, and let's just broad stroke it, Ted.
Diablo Immortal.
Let me just stroke it for you.
Stroke it for me,
yeah,
Ted.
I don't know. I have been looking forward to Diablo Immortal for a long time. For those who don't remember, Diablo Immortal was announced at a BlizzCon in which everyone thought Diablo 4 was going to be announced. This is where we get the classic everybody booing the man on stage talking about Diablo Immortal, this hot new mobile game.
It's just so funny to me.
It's rough. Oh my gosh, people are asking questions. It's bad.
Is this an April Fool's joke? That's like the very big meme.
Oh my God, that one was a good one.
Yeah.
Diablo Immortal spent years of delays. Because of bad publicity, and then a pandemic,
and then also some other stuff was happening with Blizzard that wasn't pretty.
And then more bad publicity. But this year, as of 2022, it has now been released as a mobile Diablo game, mobile and PC. I guess.
Question for you, just because I don't know this: is this in any beta early access form, or is this an official release? Like, does it say beta?
What's beta?
Like even Fortnite still says like.
No, Diablo Immortal is official.
Okay.
The phone the phone app is official.
Okay.
The PC game is a beta.
I remember seeing this. Okay.
But the PC is just the phone app.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's no PC optimization.
We'll get into it. Yeah, so this is the mobile edition for Diablo. And it's very high production value. I'll give it.
Sorry, James, remember they only put it on PC because they were like, people are going to play this on the PC anyway, so we'll just put it on there for you.
They're going to play on the emulator.
It wasn't like they were like doing it like to be good people.
It's very easy to download an Android emulator type device. Yeah.
One of the most popular ones.
Just put it on Windows and then play Android games on your computer. It's not difficult.
Mm-hmm.
So they made it official part of their Battle.net kind of downloadable games. Okay. Initially, I genuinely think it's a very fun introduction. It's very high polished. It's a really just fun kind of experience to begin.
Are there multiple classes and shit?
Yeah,
so it's very Diablo based. Okay.
It is 100% Diablo.
Cool.
You start by download the app. I'll talk about the app because that's kind of what I played. And the game itself is actually sectioned out, which is kind of funny. You download the app, and that actually just downloads the tutorial. And then from there, in the background, the game will download kind of the rest of the game quietly as you progress.
Is it really big?
It's really big.
Like for a phone, like it takes up a lot of your phone?
I have 7. There are 7 different download chunks. I know the first 2 were like 2 gigabytes.
Oh my God. So it's like a 15 gigabyte game on your phone.
Yeah.
It's a video game.
It was like 18 gigs
on
PC.
Yeah, it's a full-on video game.
Wow.
But you download the first one first. That's the tutorial, and then you'll slowly kind of download more as you play the game. We'll kind of talk about that later on. But it's Diablo. You pick one of 5 classes. You have standard Diablo fare, barbarian, monk, necromancer, wizard, one other one.
Rogue.
What's the other one? No.
Demon?
Crusader? I don't know.
Crusader.
They're
pirate.
Dungeon and Dragon adjacent classes. It's
monk.
pretty standard fare.
You said monk.
Said monk.
Monk, barbarian.
And then from there, your left thumb controls your character running around. Your right thumb controls the 4 abilities that your character gets.
Okay.
And it is that simple. It feels a lot like playing League of Legends Wild Rift or Pokemon Unite. You are a 3D character running around in an MMO-esque world. You press the auto attack button, you press your buttons, you blow up bad guys and complete quests. 2 thumbs up. In terms of just straight up gameplay, it's very fun. The story is kind of bleh, but like you're not really there for a story.
I have a few questions. Can I ask my myriad of Diablo-based questions? Because I've never played a Diablo game. My first Diablo game will be Diablo 4. We've talked about this. First off, my main question is for James. James, have you played Diablo Immortal at all?
No.
Okay, so it's just Ted that's played this. Ted, in normal Diablo games, is there good stories?
No, not particularly.
Wait, Diablo 3 had a good story.
Yeah,
but not in the main game. In the DLC.
Yeah, it ranges, but the general rule of Diablo is you're going to get hell is attacking. I know. They're at it again. And the same myriad of characters are going to kind of sort of do the same things to protect the land, etc., etc.
These damn demons.
It's got a lot of really cool flavor text, but in terms of like main story, it's not great. And especially ever since Diablo 3, like it's the same main characters. Like Deckard Cain is introduced. Like I went back and I've played pretty much every Diablo game in the past 2 weeks. Not to completion, but just the beginning. And like Deckard Cain, who's the old wizarding, or he's the old like scholarly man who knows everything about what's going on. So he's your father figure. He teaches you. He's introduced the same way in every single game of like, Decker's in trouble, go rescue him, and he's like, oh, thank you for saving me. Yeah, it's not great.
I think it's fun.
But anyway, the story's not, but that's not really the point of Diablo. You're there just to go to new places, to get a quest, to go over there, and then you blow everything up, and then that's over. And then you come back and you continue. So I would say the highlight of this game for me came in at about like an hour. Once you complete Tutorial Island, you kind of get opened up to the social aspects, and this game feels a lot like an MMO. If you guys remember playing RuneScape, that you kind of are just plopped into a world with other characters, other real people running around. It's got a lot of that same mentality. So it is kind of like an MMO on your phone. This is probably the best example of an MMO on your phone. Of you're just running around.
Sorry, I have another Diablo-related question, because I don't know. Diablo 3, is that pretty social, multiplayer, MMO-esque? Or is it pretty just like drop-in, drop-out co-op kind of thing?
It's drop-in, drop-out co-op for the most part. Diablo Immortal features like a world chat, which is really cool.
Is there like a hub world and everything where you go hang out?
Yeah, there's like a main city called Westmarch, which is a classic Diablo city, and like everybody's there hanging out. So that's the place where I went as like a level 9. And there's like level 60 characters, and you're like, wow, that's really cool looking gear. So that's the beginning of the game. I would genuinely say I had a lot of fun playing their like introduction to Diablo Immortal. As we move forward, there are kind of 3 main things to do in the game. There's a story. You can play through the story. And then you can play through it again at a harder difficulty. You can do something called an Elder Rift, which is kind of like a dungeon.
An Elder Rift? We have Elden Rings, now we got Elder Rifts?
Elder Rifts.
Wow.
They're teeny tiny. They're like 3 to 5 minutes long. They're like timed dungeons where you have to get in, kill the set amount of monsters as quickly as possible, and then defeat a boss as fast as you can. So it's about speed.
Just like Greater Rifts, but smaller, I guess.
Elder Rifts? Greater Rifts? I forgot. I don't know.
Greater Rifts are the normal
might be a
ones.
Greater Rifts.
Greater Rifts are bigger.
Greater Rifts, they already existed. It's their equivalent of a dungeon. I think it's called a Greater Rift.
But you go in there really quick and defeat a boss and get it.
It's kind of like a fast mode dungeon. And then finally there's something called a bounty, which based on the time of day, it's kind of like a daily quest. You'll be able to go out into the world and find a super rare, super hard monster out in the world, kill it for a reward, and you're done. Those are kind of the 3 main things to do in the game. And as I was playing this game, it starts to direct you towards these things in a way where you're kind of like scratching your head of like, oh, you're really like hammering in that I need to be doing greater rifts. Why might that be? So now we'll get into the payment part. This is a free game up until now.
Okay, so up until now, have you been getting loot and earning gear and like the normal Diablo loop that we kind of all
Yes. So this game gets rough, and this is where a lot of the controversy has come through. As of 2 weeks ago now, this game has a 0.5 out of 10 on Metacritic
That's funny.
due to people who are users review bombing the game. A lot of people are very upset, and let me do my best to explain why. First of all, there are 22 currencies in this game.
Different currencies?
Currencies / resources.
22.
So you can upgrade your fucking gear too.
There were 21, and then people found a secret 22nd one. But these are just things that
one of them is Dogecoin. It's just in the game, yeah.
Yeah, just cryptocurrency. It's crazy. Yeah. But there are 22 different resources that you're just slowly acquiring over time, or currencies that you're earning or spending or doing that kind of thing. And of course, the point of Diablo is to do one of these dungeons, get a whole bunch of loot, re-equip your character, get them even stronger so that you can do that same dungeon bigger and better and faster.
Right.
And that's the loop. That is why Diablo is so much fun. It's about, the coin term is a loot explosion. Mm-hmm. You get to such a high level that the computerized system, the algorithm to determine loot just gets higher and higher and higher, and more just is exploding out of bad guys.
Okay.
It can be really fun. In Diablo Immortal, they have gated that behind a paid currency. James, you'll have to help me. I think it's called a Elder Crest, Greater Crest, I believe is the paid currency. Yeah. So this is something where you will pay real. It's classic mobile game fare. You'll pay real money to get a currency that you then spend to get other currencies.
Is there still gold?
There is still gold. Okay. That's one of the 22. Point is, you buy the ability to increase the chances of getting better loot.
Oh, that's a thing in Lost Ark.
Yeah.
Elemental orbs, is that what you're looking for, Ted?
That is the actual pay. That's what you pay real dollars for.
Oh, okay.
You then use elemental orbs to buy, I think they're called crests or greater crests or epic crests. You can add up from 1 to 10 crests into your dungeon run, into your Greater Rift run, to increase the chances of your loot.
Yeah.
So a lot of people naturally are upset. They go, the whole point of Diablo is to get loot, and you've put the chances of getting more or better loot behind a paywall. That kind of sucks. On top of that, and that's not great.
No.
I think in my personal experience, Diablo Immortal has the most egregious, bad habit forming techniques that I've ever seen. What I mean by that is, well, let me break it down for you. There are 3 different paid battle passes.
3 battle passes.
There are 3. There's a normal battle pass that we've all seen. That's a season based. You level up by doing stuff in the game. It grows as time and you get rewards. There's a free version, paid version. There's a battle pass that's like your end game character. You can't even unlock it till the very end. And then finally, there's a battle pass where you pay like $15 to get 30 days of daily unlocks. Now, if you pay 30 days of daily unlocks and you forget on Tuesday to get your daily unlock, you don't get it.
Yeah.
You miss it. This game is constantly trying to get you to check your phone in ways that are actively bad for you if you don't. So there's daily quests, there's daily quests, daily rewards. There are these paid systems where you're like, oh shoot, I paid for this. I need to log in today to do it. It's really bad, and it's really obviously trying to form addictive habits and build that kind of sunk cost fallacy of I've already put so much time or I've already put so much money into this. I need to keep doing it. And that really sucks. It doesn't feel good to play and to know that you've missed a daily quest that you paid real money for.
Can I ask you personally, have you put money into this game?
No.
Okay.
No. I have been having a great time with it, completely sticking my head in the sand. But a lot of arguments that I've been hearing are the whole point of Diablo is to take your head out of the sand and to do this stuff.
Yeah.
So what's the point of playing it if you're just going to stick your head in the sand?
Interesting.
Diablo 3.
And that's something I totally understand.
Was Diablo 3 well received? Did people like Diablo 3?
Oh yeah.
At the start, it had a lot of controversy because it had this auction house.
Right, the
but
auction house, I remember that.
they really cleaned it up, and it had some really good DLC.
So like Reaper of Souls, everybody was kind of back on board.
Reaper of Souls is one of my like all-time favorite
I
Diablos.
think every Diablo game has won people over with its expansion pack.
Yeah. Okay. The expansions are always good.
But generally, yeah. And the argument that I've heard from friends is that if you enjoyed Diablo Immortal in any way, you can just play Diablo 3 and get the same experience without a predatory, like,
I've seen friends go back to
money cycle.
because they wanted to play Immortal, and then they saw how bad it was, and it's like, well, it's right there.
The ultimate kicker about everything that I just said is that you can spend $10 for the season pass, $15 for the daily quest season pass, $18 for the end game season pass, and then $10 to get crests to increase your loot for these dungeon runs. All that money I just spent is based on your character, not your account. So if James said, I'm playing Diablo Immortal, I'm going to make a new character, I picked a different server than you did, back to square one.
Yeah. Wow. They definitely, that definitely sucks.
Yeah. Controversy time. To finish this out, I think it's Belgium and the Netherlands have banned Diablo Immortal under the loot box gambling laws that they put in place. The reason that happened is because Blizzard essentially went to them and said, these Elder Rifts, these dungeons are not loot boxes because you have to play the game.
Right,
because it's a skill-based thing, it is not a loot box. It is not the slot machine. Therefore, we don't have to tell you the drop rates. We don't have to tell you what's going on under the hood. All of that kind of stuff. Both of those countries said, this still goes against the spirit of the law that we had in place, so we're going to ban you. But generally speaking, we do not know what is happening under the hood for a lot of these games. The headline, as of about a week ago, is that a couple of Twitch streamers have been spending money on this game just to see how this works. I think a New Zealand Twitch streamer finally achieved the ultimate end game character. It cost him $15,000 US.
Yeah, I saw like it was like 14.8 grand or something.
Yeah,
and he only got like 1 or 2 5-star items, or I don't know how it works, but like the best quality items through the loot boxes, he got 2 of them through $14,000 or something.
Yeah, it took him $14,000. A lot of people, granted this is on the internet, so who knows how true it is, but a lot of people are saying that like even under the laws of statistics, this shouldn't work out. Like statistically speaking, he should be getting to the end before that amount, which has a lot of people wondering, like, are they adjusting the numbers behind the scenes to make sure that you're constantly drip fed what you want or not? And finally, as of just over a week ago, the country of China has banned the release of Diablo Immortal indefinitely.
They're the ones who made it.
Yep. We don't know. We don't know why. The two big rumors going around are China's very big on not anti-gambling, but they're really big on anti-video game addiction right now. They just banned like kids playing games from certain hours of the day.
But they've always banned like skeletons and stuff like that in games. And
I mean, NetEase would know to change that stuff,
right?
But so a lot of people think it's either gambling related. There's another rumor going around that the NetEase developers have been publicly anti-government, and this might be a personal attack against those people. So it's possible NetEase will have to pay some kind of fine in order to have their game released online to China.
I didn't know about that. That's interesting.
Yeah,
that's crazy because I think that's their biggest market is going to be China.
Oh yeah,
so Diablo always is, right? That's like a big, especially mobile.
It has become, but definitely mobile
is really
over there. So this, like I said, I would say if you are able to stick your head in the sand and just want to try a really high polished mobile game on your phone, definitely give it a shot. But in terms of something to actually like sink your teeth into, this is as predatory as it gets.
So like me, I want to play a Diablo game. This is not the one I should go play. I should play if I want to go retroly back to 3 or wait for 4.
Okay. And simply because the key aspects that make Diablo fun and addictive and makes you want to come back to it are put behind these drip feed kind of paywall. They are trying to get the most out of you in terms of addiction levels, in terms of endorphins. It's pretty predatory.
Wow. I'm I'm now so fascinated by Diablo 4 because obviously Microsoft, even if they haven't owned them, there is influence now with Microsoft within Blizzard and Activision. I mean, their presentation showcase had so much Blizzard Activision. It's just apparent. So I'm curious, and obviously that game will not have loot boxes or anything because
no, but it'll have battle pass.
Of course, every game's gonna have a battle pass.
That's the get around the blue boxes is battle pass.
I'm okay with that. I'd rather know what I'm getting per level rather than
right.
See if I get this Tracer skin. Yeah, it's all bad.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Diablo 4 also, they're claiming it's going to have a store, which has a lot of people scared. Diablo 3 got in trouble because they had a real money auction house when it launched.
Yeah, that was really scary.
If you got lucky on the first day and found a super rare item, instead of just using it or enjoying that like a video game, you could try and sell it for real money. A, you could make money. B, there's somebody with a lot more money out there who could just skip most of the game and get a big item. A lot of people are worried about stuff like that. Diablo Immortal has a store as well. It's a store where if you can only sell items that loot that you've acquired by using the real money system.
Okay.
So it's basically a place for you to get rid of all of the stuff that you don't want because you're spending real money to just blast yourself with loot.
I see what you're saying. Okay.
That is not stated in any of the language. People had to discover that by like guess and test. Another one of those sneaky under the table things.
Yeah.
So
wild.
There's a lot of that out there.
Huh. Do you plan on still playing it?
Honestly, no. Oh, I'll get to that. I told you about the sectional install that I was doing. It downloads the game in sections. The area that my character is in right now, that install corrupted. And I couldn't play that character. It said, the Darkwood install that you have played is broken. You need to reinstall it to access your character. I have tried to reinstall it for 5 days now. It is not working. My character is off limits on my phone.
Imagine it's telling you not to play.
Yeah, but imagine if you put in $600 in that character, and now you're just fucking.
I mean, I'm sure it can be fixed by just downloading and reinstalling. But it was just this thing of
ridiculous.
I was already like, I mean,
I'm playing. You gotta buy the 3rd tier battle pass to get it fixed.
That comes with patches.
Yeah.
No, it's funny. I've been playing Diablo 3 on the Xbox, and so when this happened, I was like, all right, that's kind of the end of my character.
That sounds fun. How is it on the Xbox?
It's a lot of fun.
What do you play?
It's wild. Just a barbarian. I've gone back and played Diablo 2 and Resurrected.
Yeah.
And Diablo 3, and it's really interesting to see this progression where like Diablo 2 is a role-playing game where like you're running around in caves just like hitting zombies or whatever, and then you level up, and then you get to pick your talents and assign your stats. It's a lot like an Elder Scrolls game. And then you play Diablo 3, and they're just like, here's a level, here's a level, here's a level. We're just trying to blast you to the end game because we know what you want. You want
all the way to the torment levels.
You want those loot explosions. We're just trying to get you to beat the game as fast as possible so you can play it again on harder difficulties. Let's go. Like, it's very fast-paced. And then you come to this game, which dilutes that even more to just, like, we know exactly what what buttons to press, what endorphins to hit. And also, you can press more of those buttons if you pay money.
That's so wild.
Yeah.
Ugh. Is Diablo 3 on Game Pass, or did you buy it on Xbox?
I bought it.
How much was it? Was it expensive?
It's on sale this weekend for $20.
It's not bad at all. Okay.
No, not at all.
With all the DLC?
Yeah. All the DLC.
I think that's the only console edition is the Reaper of Souls edition, I think.
Nice.
Yeah.
The Reaper of Souls story is really good. I think you...
It's on Switch. I've always thought about getting it.
I will say that I'm a Diablo convert. I've played Diablo 3 many times in the past. Just it was never for me.
Mm-hmm.
The pace of it was a little too fast. I was just confused. The story isn't that great.
It's
good, but it's not. Yeah, it's anyway. But coming back to this, just getting my my little fix on my phone, and then being able to kind of go back and see the story. It's been a lot of fun. Diablo's a great game. It's a great loop.
Okay. Yeah. You've actually kind of sold me on wanting to try 3 before 4.
I genuinely, if you are able to handle the jank of an old game, if you can go back to older games and like appreciate what they were trying to do, Diablo 2 is a 10 out of 10.
Okay.
Diablo 2 Resurrected is awesome. It's so good in like this is the year 2000. We're really like trying to make a cool guy game.
God, that's a long time ago.
It's a long time ago.
I think 2 is good if you played 2 originally. 2 right now, like trying to go into it, is pretty.
Oh, I never played Diablo 2. This is my first time.
You were around like Warcraft and all that.
Yeah,
so it's very similar.
I've played games of that era a lot. And
Yeah.
so going back to it, I'm having a great time. If old game jank is not for you, play Diablo 3. It's a great time.
I'm kind of interested in that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd recommend 3.
Any final Diablo thoughts?
I'm with you. I'm really curious what Diablo 4 is going to do.
Mm-hmm.
I think Diablo 4 is going to be very different than this. This was conceived in a very different time in Blizzard.
Yeah.
And will probably die when the new Blizzard reveals itself.
Yeah, I think the new Blizzard is going to shape this into...
Or maybe not die, but this will just be kind of in the background, just existing.
I think James is right. I think Blizzard wipes their hands of this game and walks away from it.
Yeah.
Yeah. They put it out and we're good.
Yeah.
So it's not developed internally?
Just remove it.
No, this is totally made by a Chinese developer called NetEase.
Okay.
Which makes
they make
blockbuster mobile games in China. Yeah. That's what they do.
Okay. Yeah, Blizzard's wiping their hands from this game the minute.
Yeah, just sell it back to this company or something.
That's just wild. Interesting.
I mean, we say wipe their hands, but like they've made $6 million so far.
It's not bad.
That's not that much.
That's not that much for like a video game in no.
Yeah, that's not that much. That's considering when you make
that's
the
in the first
money,
2 weeks before a Chinese release.
Yeah. So if they get the Chinese release, of course it's gonna go up. But if they don't, it's just they're not gonna make more money.
I think they will. I think they will get a small amount of whales to just.
They will because people are. It's amazing what people will spend their money on.
I can't believe it. But I feel like a lot of people who I've seen been playing it have dropped it off after like 10, 15K.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah. I mean, for the 99% of people who don't spend money on it, there's 1% who spends enough for all 100%.
You could spend 3,000 or 4,000, let's say like it's different, but 3,000 or 4,000 in Lost Ark and get way more end game than any of the Diablo Immortal end game.
Yeah.
So it's like I don't know. Maybe it will incentivize people to go to that route.
Maybe. Yeah. I think it's only good news for Diablo 4 that this is not what people want, because now the marketing is this is the Diablo game you want. Yeah.
I'm just happy it wasn't good.
Yeah.
You're happy it wasn't good?
Yeah.
I was hoping it wouldn't be this bad.
I think we do.
It's a good game to play on a phone. I think if a lot of this predatory stuff wasn't there and it was more of that Diablo experience just on your phone, I would happily keep going with this.
Yeah. I'm going to transition really hard. All right. I've got one just really, really important thing before we talk about Mario Strikers. James, when you look at Ted's little camera thing, do you see this like closet door that's blocked partway by the bed? Do you see this thing? Do you see his bed like sticks out in front of his closet door? Do you see what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
How do you open this door? Does it not open?
It doesn't open that well.
That's a
it would still open, but it would probably not open all the way, right?
I live in the social center of my city. I am in downtown. We do not have a lot of space.
All right, let's talk about Super Mario Strikers Battle League.
Is that what it's called?
That's what it's called.
Yes.
For the Nintendo Switch. We're going to do this pretty quick. James, have you played Super Mario Strikers Battle League?
I have.
Ted, have you played Super Mario Strikers Battle League?
Sold out.
That's right. We talked about this at the beginning of the show. That's right. Totally forgot. James, just overall, what do you think of this game? And how much have you played,
I think,
roughly?
I probably played a couple hours.
Okay.
Not too much. I've been back in my Luigi's Mansion grind.
Oh.
Enough about Luigi's Mansion. Mario Strikers is pretty good, but to me, it feels very bare for what you pay for.
Yes.
And I'm just saying that the makeup of the game and the content of the game don't match. It's got a great system. It's got great techniques. It's got great kind of like little animations, but there's just not enough. Mm-hmm. It's got like 4 or 5 levels.
Yeah.
Can't remember.
Yeah. So
it's stadiums, I guess. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. So it's broken up where it's got 4 or 5 like cups, like almost Grand Prix that you could play.
Yeah, which are good.
Which are fine. They're fine.
Yeah.
And then they get, when you beat them all, you get like the harder cups. And I have a whole really big problem with the harder cups. And how this game. But I would agree with you, James, that this game is incredibly content light for a $60 Mario.
I remember
game.
also in the original Mario Strikers, there was more characters, right?
There may have been. There's only 10 characters in this game. I'm not totally familiar. They have said that there's going to be 3 more characters that come out for free.
I believe the original had 9 characters.
Okay, so
did it have auto goalies as well?
Yes, that's always been a thing.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. Okay, I just want to make sure.
Oh, yeah.
But in the normal game, James, back in like I don't know the Wii version very much, but in just Mario Strikers, you would pick like one character, and then you would pick like Toads, or you would pick like.
You'd pick your team.
Your team would not be like other Mario characters;
Players.
they would be like secondary characters. Where in this game, you pick
what were they? It was like Toads,
Shy Guys,
Koopas, and
yes, I do remember that. Yeah,
there's something else. And then in this game, you pick like 4 individual Mario characters,
which I think is cool because they all have different like finishers. Kind of thing.
So it's like picking a MOBA team as opposed to just one.
Yeah,
and some minions. One character and some minions.
Yeah, so like I'm rocking like Luigi, Yoshi, Bowser, and Waluigi. Like, that's my squad.
I don't know if it is, but it definitely feels smaller than the GameCube version in terms of the stadium size. Like it definitely feels, but I think it's just how I'm playing.
I think it's how you're playing, especially because you're on handheld.
So OLED. So it feels a little bit smaller.
Also, they're probably thinking about this very much as like a party setting, kind of mathing down what's fun, and like when you kick the ball and do a hard turnaround across the entire arena, it can be a little long-winded.
See, that's what I'm saying. This solo has got nothing going for it for me. Like it's not fun solo. I think this is more fun party.
And I don't think it's supposed to be solo. Everything about this game seams to be pushing towards
the Battle
this
League.
online mode.
Yeah, the Battle League. Yeah. But I think that's like the game's kind of fundamental biggest problem. But hey, maybe this game isn't meant for me. Maybe this game is probably meant for 2 12-year-old kids that live, next door to each other that can go play Mario Strikers together.
Yeah.
But they are really pushing this Battle League and you forming your own team online, and like you have like a league where like James can join my league and then we play against other people online and increase our record. I will say Nintendo Switch Online is complete ass. Yeah. And the 3 games that I tried to play online all quit out, and I ended up winning all of them because the other person disconnected. So like
that's not what I want to hear.
Don't build excuse my language. Don't build a fucking game around online when your online is complete ass. Give me some content that I can play in this game, and that's my biggest. I think the game plays awesome when you're in a game of Mario Strikers. It's so fun, but then the fact that like I got 5 cups to do, and then the harder difficulties is this milestone jump of like skill level that the computers get. But like, so Ted, like they go from like just to in the normal cup, say you're in the Bomb Cup or whatever it's called, you'll beat a team by like 6-2, and like that's pretty easy. And they've taken 10 shots on goal and passed 15 times. Then you go to the next level up of the cup, and the Bomb Cup level 2 or whatever it is like they are skilled at passing. Okay, that's like what the team is like. These teams are skilled at passing. You're in the passing cup. Okay, they will go from like 10 to 15 passes a game to like 155. Where like you cannot touch the ball as a normal person.
And the passing is almost instant, like especially if you get perfect passes. And then it's like, what do? Do you just like try and tackle everyone that you can see?
Yeah, that was my strategy.
It just kind of becomes the computer gets so good, it becomes unfun. And the problem is that's the only thing to do by yourself in this game is to play. There's no franchise. There's no nothing. It is just
that's it. Is this mode
single game cup online play? That's it. Yeah. And so it's very content light, and I would not recommend anybody get this game for $60.
No.
This. Well, let me just ask a question ahead of time. Is this the same Strikers that we are used to? There are items that you get. Yeah. There are power-ups.
It's a soccer game. It's a soccer game. We didn't explain that. Yeah, it's a soccer game.
Passing, tackling, blocking,
it's the exact same. It has some extra little stuff in here, but
and it feels just as good.
The root of it is the same.
Yeah, it feels just as good. Feels great. It's a lot of fun.
It's just very content light.
It's very content light.
Well, it seems to be falling, with one exception, it seems to be falling a lot into the same place that Super Mario Golf or Golf Rush, I forgot what it's called.
Yes, the recent golf one.
Fell into, where people said, like, this is a great little party game. I'm having a lot of fun playing co-op with my friends. There's nothing else to do. Which, to me, describes the GameCube perfectly. Of, like, I have a collection of GameCube games that, if my friends aren't in the room next to me, are kind of worthless. And that seems to be the same thing, except the Switch Online exists and there are people trying to make it work. And that seems to be more damning, is that the online system cannot keep up with a game that they clearly wanted to be an online experience.
Right. That I think is the main issue, is that like you're making a game for like online purposes. It's your main IP. It's Mario playing a sport that like Super Mario Strikers is like one of the Mario sports games that everybody loves. Like it's like very held in very high regard.
I would put it third, second behind Mario Kart. Maybe it's above Mario Party.
I think it's probably above... Yeah.
Good.
No. I think it's probably right around Mario Party, but under Mario Kart. And Mario Golf has a very loyal fan base.
I think Mario Kart has been insanely still good, like in terms of like Nintendo games.
I always think that's in like a whole different league than a Mario sports game. But I just feel like this game, like you build a whole game around online and can't support it, and then you don't give any content besides that. Even the GameCube version had a tournament mode where you you picked your team and you would join a tournament and you'd set the skill level to medium or 8 or whatever. You move the dial, and that gave you at least something to do. Like you can only play the tournament in the passing league or the shooting league or the tackling league. So it's like
almost like a bad excuse for a training mode.
Yeah. And the training mode is extensive in this game because there's a lot of controls. I just wouldn't recommend it. I'm very kind of sad.
And I will say that this is it's definitely the second major Switch release in a row that seems to be basing its, I'm thinking of Switch Sports, basing itself off online play and flopping because of Nintendo Switch Online. There were a couple games in the middle, but like Golf came out last year and suffered the same thing.
Yeah. And they have some issues there.
Yeah,
James,
they haven't had some good issues.
Played this online? And I'm asking you because the OLED Switch has an Ethernet port. And does that affect anything?
So I haven't docked
my
OLED, but
ever.
Right. I don't ever. I refuse to not play on my OLED screen. But fair. No, I played it online, but it definitely didn't feel good. I didn't have any disconnects because I only played like one time, but
I was mostly wondering if you were using that Ethernet port to your advantage and if that mattered. Not that helps. That kind of makes things worse. If people with Ethernet, people who paid for the newer Switch have an advantage over me.
I mean, it definitely should have mattered. I have like really good Wi-Fi. It's like 800 down. For just Ethernet. So my Wi-Fi is like 200, 100. So it shouldn't matter in that sense. It's just the servers themselves. Yeah. It's not about like connectivity. I know it has Ethernet, but it's still fine.
That's a bummer. I mean, I'm looking forward to, as someone with roommates, I will probably have a pretty fun time with it.
You will.
That's where it shines.
But I was really hoping for that Battle League, the kind of the guild system to flourish, and it does not sound like it will. I'm still going to buy it. I'm still going to check it out. I would like to do the Battle League with you guys.
Absolutely. We have a Side Escape clan.
Just to test it out, see if it works. But hearing that was their big push and it didn't work is kind of a bummer.
This game came out and it kind of like had like nothing going for it. Like I didn't see really popularity playing it.
It was sold out in multiple targets.
Well, it's not. That's why I think it's more about the kids party.
Yeah, it's the kids party in the name. I mean, people our age love Mario Strikers because we have such an attachment to it as a kid. I will say this is my major nitpick with this game. It's very specific, but it's very nitpicky and it's bullshit. James, you ready for my bullshit nitpick? Okay. When you go into one of these tournaments, and when you go into the online Battle League, you get to make your club. I made Side Escape. That's our show, And I chose our colors. We're blue, and then our secondary color is red. When you go into these single-player tournaments, I know, you need to go to the bathroom. Sorry, the cat's like meowing because she's pooping. It happens. When you go into these tournaments like by yourself in these like cups, you can pick like 5 or 6 different teams, like the Comets, the Rockets, the Avalanche, or whatever they're called, and you get like colors: red, yellow, pink. And then you can also pick your Side Escape color. Okay, the game only lets you choose from like 4 or 5 colors, and all the computers can use better colors than you can use. But you can only use like green, red, pink, and yellow. And if you choose blue as your main color, fuck you. You can still only use red because that's one of the 5 colors we let your team be. And it's just ridiculous. It's like that's how content light this game is, that like you can't even use another color offered online in single player.
That was another thing. The customizability is very much lacking in this game in terms of like what you want. The saturation of items or any of that stuff. No, there's no fun modes.
No.
Yeah. This game features items that you can put on your character.
Yeah, like gear.
Loot. Yeah,
just like Mario Kart.
Does that do anything for you?
No. I mean, it changes stats, but
it does some stuff. Like you'll get faster or you'll like knock someone out. But that.
I mean, are you trying to build towards anything? Is there such a thing as like
everything
a tackle
is
build?
so cheap to buy with the gold coins that you earn.
Yeah.
Everything's like 100 gold coins, and you earn like 1,000 per cup win. So you can just unlock almost anything.
Okay.
Yeah, you're not reaching.
So you're not shooting towards anything, but the gear themselves doesn't affect the game. You're not like, oh, we're playing against a passing team.
Now, you probably would. It probably would when you get that into it, but there's not enough content to dive that deep into it.
In single player.
Because the single player cups are so polarizingly like, it's so fucking easy in the easy cup, and it is maddeningly hard in the hard cup. There's no wiggle room to learn like, oh, this is a good tackle build with Bowser.
Yeah.
You can't learn that. Yeah. So that's kind of weird.
Yeah. Well, that sucks.
Yeah.
I would also like to think that Nintendo could fix this in the same way Diablo fixes all of their games with an expansion pack. But that doesn't really happen with them, huh?
That's not what Nintendo does, man.
Yeah.
They got your money, they wipe their hands clean, they say on to the next thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
And speaking of on to the next thing, we're on to the next episode. Thank you so much for watching the 101st episode of the Sideescape Gaming Podcast. We will see you next week with 102. See you later.
Electric Boogaloo.
Boop, boop, ba-doo.